Welcome to The Issue on your TV. I'm Mark Carr, and as you'll notice, we're still broadcasting The Issue from our homes, so everyone, my co-hosts, guests and producers, everyone's safe at home. My co-host this week is Angelo Bentavania, Burlington Ward Councillor in Ward 6. Angelo, I see the beard is coming along nicely. How are you and the family holding up?
We're all great. We're all safe, and we're all isolating. And I'm growing this beard because I hear there's going to be a shortage of masks. So I figured I'd grow it and protect myself.
Okay, Angelo, I'm going to throw it over to you to introduce our special guests for this edition of The Issue.
Well, thank you for that. And I wanted to bring these two gentlemen into this on the show because of what we're going through. This pandemic has taken a big toll on a lot of us, isolating and doing without and so on and so forth. So I thought I'd bring Peter Winstanley and Renee Schuster onto the show because of all the things that they have done, not just during this pandemic, but over the years. And they'll tell us a little bit more about it as we move along. Now, the group that these two gentlemen have formed is quite unusual in most, for most of us to sort of look at the scale of this, but it's a Facebook page, and we are all familiar with different Facebook pages. And this particular Facebook page is called Burlington Dads, and in brackets, gentlemen only. And it brings a lot of joy to the city that a lot of people don't know. And they've done a tremendous amount of events over the years. And again, we'll hear about it a little more. So Peter and Renee, welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you for all the things that you have done and that we're going to get into.
Excellent.
Okay, and Angelo, I'm going to ask the first question. How did to either Peter or Renee? How did this all come about? How was it conceived?
It really started 6-7 years ago now, Pete. What was it?
2013.
Yeah, and I started because you see all the moms groups and the helpfulness that they have between each other and how they work together, and they share stories about raising kids and things in the neighborhood and such. And I thought, there's not really like a dad's group. And I was mulling it over there, and people were saying, well, dads don't communicate the same way women do. It's a different sort of thing. I said, yeah, you know what, I'm going to do it. So I started with 5 guys in the group: Pete, my neighbor Chris, and a few others. And it was just basically like a tool lending thing at first. If you have questions about things, I need to borrow a chop saw, I need to borrow this, or a tile saw, or everything. Yeah, come on over, I'll give it to you. And that's where we started the BD currency, which is just you leave a tall boy there, and that's your payment for renting the item. And before we knew it, we had 50 people, and before then it was 100 guys, and then we started doing things. We started our get-togethers where we said, we really got to get together and put faces to the names and the avatars and such. And we had our first meeting at what was that? Adam's Rib. Remember that? Was it that one, Pete? I don't think you were at that.
I was there for about 10 seconds. I think it was beside the old Burlington Bowl, or beside Burlington Bowl, wasn't it? It's changed names about 5 times.
Yeah, there was like 6 of us there. And I thought, hey, this is great. We got 6 guys. And then a few months later, we did one at the Uptown. And all of a sudden, there was 25 guys there. And at 25 guys, Pete and I had tears in our eyes. Oh, my God, 25 guys. This is so amazing. We're all together.
Oh, we were so excited. We thought, holy crap, look at how big we've gotten. 25 guys. Wow.
And it just went from there.
So Pete, I'm going to get into this here. When did you realize that, you were just talking about 25 guys and when did you realize that, whoa, this is something that's taken shape? And when did you start to feel that, geez, maybe we can do a little bit more than what most people would expect? You've gone beyond some of the items. When did you feel that we got something here that's going to be here for a while?
I think it probably took about a year because, again, I checked my status. I've been a member since November 2013. So I think it was more or less 2014 that we really started to rock, and we decided we were going to have a little Christmas party at the Anchor Bar. And then we thought, well, we're going to raise some money. Who should our charity be? And one of the charities that is near and dear to our hearts, of course, is the Burlington Food Bank. I know Scott Cameron through the Burlington Old Timer Slow Pitch, they're a big proponent of the food bank as well. And then Renee, I guess we kind of just, we didn't expect the amount of people that we had at the Christmas party, the original Christmas party, did we, Renee?
No, that was incredible. We thought maybe 50 people, and we just remember we rented out half of it. Well, we said, okay, well, we need this small little half. We got a little, and we had the comedy group there.
That's
so
right.
There was a local Burlington dad, and he said, you know what, can I get my comedy guys there? We'll do it for free. We'll do some stand-up and all that. I said, yeah, got to have someone there, I guess. And yeah, we thought maybe 50, 60 people. And before we knew it, there's 150 people lined up out the door wanting to get in. And it was just massive, unbelievable.
And we ended up raising over $5,000 for the food bank that night. And I think that was the first inkling where we thought, hey, this is big. We can do more things. And as the membership grew, and as we added more sponsors, shall we say, or more companies that wanted to contribute, it just mushroomed from there.
So you've now grown, and I lose track of the numbers, but somewhere between 4,000 and 5,000 members. And it's amazing that they all seem to be helping each other and the community, as you just had mentioned. What is the most memorable thing that you find this group has done that you feel, wow, now we've got something? Like what is the memory? What event is closest to your mind?
I think, if I were to say what really gave us the idea that, these dads can come together for something, and, when we put the word out, we call it the dad signal, like the bat signal, we can get these guys to come together, and they love the camaraderie in it. I think it was when we lost our first member there, Mark Davidson, and he passed away, unfortunately, of a heart attack in his sleep. And it was only a week or so after or before that, another member, his name slips my mind at the moment, but he died in a motorcycle accident.
Yes.
And we said, okay, we got to do something for these guys. And the show of support for two people that no one had ever heard of, but these people still came and raised over $10,000 for the families that we split between the two. That just, it always brings tears to my eyes when I even talking about it, it's showing that dads in the neighborhood, guys in the neighborhood, people in our community are willing to help, and they want to help. And, like I say, someone that they don't even know. And we raised all that money for them and helped the family out. And the kids of the one guy who died on the motorcycle, they had a trip to Disney World because of it. So that to me was like a feel-good moment that I absolutely loved.
So this is all new to you guys. You were expecting a tool exchange, and all of a sudden it morphs into something much more. How were you able to handle that, Peter? From a management point of view, how are you able to handle that?
Well, Renee and I initially, this is his brainchild. He brought me on just, hey, I need some help. Can you help me out on this? Yeah, sure thing. Then we've added 4 more of the admins, and Mark Little, Chris Wadham, Claudio Lepp, Chris Carter's driving force behind a lot of things we do, plus Mike Favello and Craig Silva as our moderators. As we got bigger it absolutely became unwieldy and a little difficult to manage. And again, as Renee tries to let everyone know, we don't get paid for this. This is all a volunteer basis. We don't live on Facebook. We don't live on the page. So we added some people to give us some help. And as Renee said as well, the business community that has jumped up and in spades supported everything we do. We have a small core of businesses that support every single thing we do. And now during these trying times, we're trying to support them as well. So it works out really well.
Yeah, Pete, I'm really bored with what you're saying. Anyway, something we've forgotten here. Normally, as per true Burlington Dad fashion, and listening to Peter, like, I love you, but I got to have a drink with you while we're listening to you and trying to process what you're saying. So, gentlemen, we have
Thanks,
to
buddy. Well, and as some of the older members will recall, when the first time when we did this, we were on my deck and we were in the backyard, and I poured Renee a shot of scotch, and we cheers, and he tossed it back. I did, Renee, you're not supposed to shoot scotch, but cheers, buddy.
Cheers, pal. Cheers,
Cheers.
Everybody, with whatever you're drinking.
That tells you the whole story of this group. It's just a fun group, loves to have a good time, stay within the realm and the guidelines that we're all abiding to, and these two gentlemen are part of what makes this happen. So moving forward, I want to ask a question. I want to talk a little bit about birthday parties, about I'm going to jump in before Mark jumps in.
Oh, yes.
Now, every time there's success happens in any industry, any business, any group, there's always challenges because it grows and it's so popular that all of a sudden we go, wow, this is unbelievable and it's so rewarding and you get goosebumps all over you. And then you go, after it's done, oh, how do we now control and put guidelines in? Let's talk about our 150 birthday party parade. And I'll be honest, I was part of it. I loved it. I can't tell you, and I think I told Mark this, I can't tell you how many emails I received and phone calls I received, every single one of them positive, but we did have some issues to deal with. And we when I say we, you, put in guidelines and so on and worked with the city to make things better. And again, I want to reiterate, every time we have good success, we need to sort of pull back and make it so that it's more comfortable. Let's talk about that for a bit. How did that come about?
So,
Isn't he the politician, eh? When he's talking about those big gatherings.
No, Angelo's a good guy. He's, every event we see him there, and he's just big smile on his face, and he really appreciates what we do and wants to be a part of it. And we welcome him with open arms. So don't you talk bad about my Angelo there, okay?
Absolutely.
Okay. All right. I won't then.
So, yeah, just quickly about those parades. Jamie Kozub sort of took the reins on this one. As you mentioned before, the group has blossomed to the point that, we had people saying to us, oh, we should do this, we should do this, we should do this. And we always say, listen, we got a lot on the go, but if you want to take hold of it and sort of run with it, then go with it. And we'll give you our blessing and go. And Jamie came up with this idea of the convoys, because he had seen, in smaller groups, he said, oh, we could probably do this too. And we're always very pessimistic, Pete, about our numbers. Yeah. And we thought, well, we could probably get a convoy of 20 guys and balloons on the car and everything. Yeah. So the second one I was involved in, Mary Ann was actually there too. And it ended up being
that's Mary Ann Mead Ward, the mayor of Burlington.
Yeah.
My apologies. Miss Mead Ward, I apologize for calling her by her first name. The Honorable Mary Ann Mead Ward. And it ended up being 140 some odd cars, 30 motorcycles. And it got to the point that it became a little unprepared, and we went through intersections and there was other cars, and then the lights are turning red. So the bikers actually went and blocked off Dundas Street and Walker's Line so we can get through. And I'm I'm following behind the mayor, and I'm like, yeah, this is perfect. This is exactly what we need for exposure, you know. So,
There
you
were
know,
some complaints.
there was a few complaints about bikers blocking traffic. Yep, you could imagine that.
Well, yeah,
Yeah, go on, Pete. Like, for the most part, it was well received, right?
it was, and I think 3 cars behind you, and I was thinking the same thing. Oh my, we're blocking off Highway 5. And as we went up to visit one of our buddies close to Waterdown, and we were along Highway 5, and we were at Brant Street, and I looked in my rearview mirror, and we extended all the way back to Guelph Line and then some.
Okay, so gentlemen, why did you have this big cavalcade of people going out? Was it in aid of something?
No, it was simply the spirit of the group. We had said that we were going to have a birthday convoy, and we're going to go visit some people. We're going to go see 6 places, and in true typical Burlington Dad fashion, everybody jumped up and said, "Me too." And then all of a sudden, again, like Renee said, 20, 30 cars? Nah, 150 cars plus motorcycles.
Well, and then the other thing is, this all happened organically. It wasn't managed to get that big, and the previous ones were respectful size, and then when everybody was there, you go, oh, okay, so we have to make the best we can. We can't turn anybody away, I guess. Like I said, I was towards the middle of the pack, and I mean, you know what? It was a great event. Yeah, there was some issues, I guess, but they were all well taken care of. And then that's the key to all this. We learn from where we came from, and then we move forward.
Let me ask the question then, Angelo, to you. Was that when the mayor came out and imposed this strict 5-car thing on people of Burlington, and then had to quickly back off it? Was that the impetus for her to bring forward the 5-car celebration?
Well, I think in the spirit of things, I mean, it's interesting because our premier just had the TV conversation where he does his daily talk, and he talked about, you know, the five limit and so on. So I think as a city, we did the right thing initially. Then we looked into it a little further. We had discussions with the province, and we relaxed the issues. I think at the end of the day, it was initially the right decision, and then realizing, hey, you know what? Maybe we need to loosen it a little bit so that we could, you know, still enjoy what we have. And it's all about interpretation, right? And I'm pleased that the city did respond the way we did, and move forward so that we can all still enjoy these birthday parties and other things that go on.
And that's what I want to get to. What are you guys planning for the near future?
Well,
I think we reacted straight away, Renee, in that when that edict came down, we said, okay, 5 cars, and we've got 10 different places to go to, so we'll split it up into 4 convoys of 5. And then when the rules were relaxed, again, doing the same thing. We're not going to have another 150-car convoy. Jamie Kozub has taken the reins on this, as Renee said, jumped in and said, okay, here's what we'll do. We'll do north, south, east, west, and we'll try and have like 10, 20 cars so that there's not the 150-car trail.
Okay, so Renee, what is your group up to these days? What have you got coming up?
The problem we have right now with this COVID thing is that you know, the bars, the event spaces, everything's kind of closed still. So through COVID, you know, we've been doing things like the convoys, raising money for the food bank. Pete, you were part of like an actual fundraiser just for people who needed help at this time. We always have our annual Christmas party that's coming up. This year we may have to rent a banquet hall to hold the people. I'm not quite sure yet. We have a golf tournament up. Our annual golf tournament. Last year we raised over $12,000 for Nelson Youth. And we also took food donations too for the food bank. But yeah, I think that's our next big one is the golf tournament, right, Pete?
Yeah, well, we wanted to have it at the end of July, and now what are we looking at? Maybe August, September?
Yeah, I think we've moved it down a little bit, but because the golf courses, they said, you know, we can do the golfing, but the banquet afterwards, which is the best part of it. We had Mike Zigamanis there last year, and you know, things like that can't go on right now. So we have to sort of play it by ear and see what we can do. But we're always trying to raise money for the community. We're trying to help out people in need in our community through you know, our fundraising, or just sometimes if we hear about a case like there was a young lady who had her wheelchair stolen,
Right.
and we saw the post, and then we put it up, someone put it up on our group and said, listen, what can we do here? And he posted it, and within 10 minutes we had a gentleman in our group donate a wheelchair and say, here, you know, take this on behalf of the Burlington Dads. Even if it's not the one you want, at least it'll get you by for now. It was a brand new wheelchair. And, you know, we always go with things like that, Mark. You know, things just sort of come.
I do want to bring up how things become organic, grow organically. We just, the group just did a bottle drive. And a couple of the dads decided, it's a good idea to do it. And, you know, we'll collect, I don't know, 300, 400, 500,000 bottles and do it in front of my house. And then I went and dropped off my donation of bottles, and I'm looking around, I'm going, oh my God. Anyways, it turned out that they had over 40,000 bottles that were donated. And the logistics involved. And there's a perfect example of how this group sort of manages to get together and make things good. And all the funds went to, I believe, the Halton Women's Shelter and the Burlington Food Bank. And it was incredible. And those are the kinds of things that make this group very different from what we see out there. Maybe Renee or Peter, you can elaborate. What makes everybody do this?
Well, the bottle drive was the brainchild of Darcy Douglas and Tobin Isaac, and they'd run it by me. And again, this is what Renee said. We have so many guys with so many ideas that will say, hey, we could do this, we could do this. And we say, hey, go ahead. And generally, as we found out, we like to have an admin involved with just about everything that's under our banner. Sometimes there's one time where it kind of went sideways. Regardless, Darcy said, we should do this. And I said, absolutely, let's do it. The beer stores aren't open. Beer stores opened. I messaged him. Tobin Isaac jumped on this. He works at Ford, so he was at liberty, and he took the reins on it. Angelo Mera was driving around at night picking up bottles. We figured, as Tobin said, probably 5,000 empties. Well, it turned out to be 40,000 empties.
Which gave us about $6, I think, for charity, wasn't it? Or $7? Did all those empties? Is that what 40,000 empties work out to? About that? Did I do the math right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I spent from, I don't know, 9 o'clock until 3 o'clock, crushing cans, sorting empties. I had my son come over with his girlfriend. It was just insane. And the logistics of it, because, Angelo, as you said, it grows organically, and all of a sudden, people that weren't even involved with the Burlington Dads were coming by and dropping off empties, or I guess it was word of mouth. And again, our community steps up so huge in instances like this. And they ended up running to the depot in Stony Creek, I don't know how many times, countless times. And they went back on the Sunday, and I guess our little interview had aired on Saturday on CH. And as the guys pulled in, guys at the beer store said, hey, those are the Burlington Dads. It was pretty cool.
Okay. Go ahead, Mark.
So with all of this activity, how do people get in touch with you, and how do they become part of Burlington Dads if that's where they want to go?
They can always find us on Facebook, burlingtondads.com. That is our general, site where we do things. Sorry, not burlingtondads.com. Burlington Dads on Facebook. You can look us up. If we do have several rules. Obviously, you have to be a dad and you have to live in Burlington. You can't be a jerk. I mean, that's basically. And even if you're a jerk, we let Pete in, so I think we'll be okay with that.
And Angelo comes every once in a while too. Yeah.
But we also do have a website, burlingtondads.com. I don't think we've done much on the website recently, but all of our activities are on there. And the general public is welcome to help out at our events. And some events are private, but there is a lot that the public can get invited to and help with.
I do want to mention that these stories that we heard tonight are real, and I want to make this. I want to emphasize this, that they're inspiring and it brings a real positive human element to our city. Not just with what Burlington Dads do, but people, organizations, groups in our city. It's things like this that make our city what it is. It makes our city at the top of the heap as being number one. It's all of these things that we put together in groups like this that make our city great. I just want to make sure that everyone listening, and certainly the 4,000 other dads that are out there listening, know that and is well appreciated.
It really does show you that the community, if you build it, they will come. And if you put the call out, there is people who want to help. And we found them. We found 4,000 of them so far and more.
And our mayor is actually quite proud of having her own honorary Dad Strong magnet.
Truthfully, the only woman that's in our group, but that's fine. She's terrific. She's absolutely terrific.
Okay, well, that's a great place for us to stop today. And Pete, Renee, best of luck with your future activities, and thanks for your community activism. As Angelo said, it's important, and especially important in these times. So thank you so much for joining us. Really do appreciate it.
Cheers, everybody.
Thank you. Cheers.
Nice.
Cheers, gentlemen. Angelo, thank you very much. And as you've mentioned, these are difficult times. The issue and your TV will continue to provide relevant, up-to-date information, and you can always check with Halton News each weekday for local news. So, Angelo, we'll see you next time, and we'll see you, the viewer, on The Issue, truly local television. Stay safe, everyone. Good night.